No. Okay. How to create task name? Once after creating, we have to give a name. Here we don't have any limitations you can give, but to identify. Again, it's for our purpose. I mean, if somebody reviews, yes, definitely we need to follow some standard procedures, right? By seeing it, you need to understand what it is doing. Inside it, whenever you create a task, you have to give one name. Okay, the name is based on the task. You will differentiate one process into subtasks. How to differentiate, what are the criteria to differentiate, we will discuss. But by naming it, how to name it is there are some best practices. Okay, if it is a main task where our robot analyst will the task which the robot analyst or tester is going to run, if it is an assisted automation or if it is an attended automation. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's discuss about this. What is types of automation? If it is an attended automation, that means the analyst or tester has to run it manually each and every time. Whenever he is going to, he will place that input file inside our folder and he will click on our run button. This is what we call it as a attended automation. Unattended automation, that means we will schedule it. Nobody is going to check. Based on the schedules, based on the triggers, our robot will start. Unattended automation. Assisted automation, again. So by placing some triggers, if there is any file comes to our input folder or to our shared path, we will map it actually. So to that shared path, we will map it. We will place one trigger to any task. We can place triggers over here. I don't know how many of you know about triggers and schedulings. Yes, we will place. There are some requirements. Definitely, if it is an unattended automation, you need to place one trigger or you need to schedule it. Based on the time, it will directly it will run. Nobody has to look at and observe how it is performing. Okay, if it is a, like I said in one of my projects, it will work based on the trigger. Like for creating user, somebody will raise a request for it, to create his account inside the database. So he will raise in the front end application, like our Facebook, we will create it. Okay, whenever he will provide all those details, the data is converted to a XML format, from the XML format to a CSV. It is their system. They have developed that application like that. So it is converted into a CSV. After converting that CSV, it will come to a specific folder. Inside from that front end application, it is going to it will go to IDM team. It is not a team, it is a system actually. It is converting that XML format, whatever they have provided, whatever the user has provided inside that fields, create account fields. The data is converted to a XML format then that IDM will convert that XML to a CSV and it will place that file into a shared path to a specific folder. In the requirements, they have mentioned that folder path. So I will point my main bot. Okay, my main bot, where I am going to call all my subbots. I am going to place here. You need to select that actually. So we will discuss more about that, about the triggers. Okay, so whenever any files comes to that folder, it will start working automatically. This is what we call it as unattended automation. At any point of time, nobody has to observe it is doing. Finally, when the analyst comes, he will observe it. He will generate the report, see how many records processed, how many records. That is how it goes. Okay, don't have to observe it. And the assisted automation in the sense, the user, somebody has to sit during the robot run. He has to observe. He has to enter some value. He has to give some input. Then only it will work. Whether he have to show one path or he has to enter some value, then only it will work. Where if there is any cash transactions, which involves cash transaction, any process we are going to automate. So in some scenarios, they will say that transaction amount, whatever you are going to enter in the text box, are in that application has to be entered by manually. They will mention. So you will use we have option prompt assignment. Whenever you will use prompt, it is going to be assisted automation. If you are going to use prompt command, it is a assisted automation. It requires some manual help during robot run. Okay, and the unassisted automation, that means no required, just the analyst are unattended and sorry, not sorry, assisted and not unassisted. What? Similar, yes. But if you are using prompt, it is going to assisted, not assisted. The same thing. But yeah, same way. If you differentiate, if you go into depth into it, if you are not placing any trigger, and let's say I am not using any prompt, and I am placing one trigger, like there is slight difference between them. They are similar, they look similar, but there is slight difference. If you observe by the names itself, you can say. For example, I do not requires any, but if I place any trigger, it is going to be that. There is slight difference if you observe it. Yeah, we call it as unassisted. Okay. Yep. Okay, we are discussing about how to give a task name. Okay. For some clients, we can go up to maximum of 3 levels. That means inside a task, we will call one more task. Inside that task, we will call one more task. That's it. For some clients, we have a restriction. Okay, you can go, and this is best practices also. Don't call tasks inside task, inside task. Don't depend on it. Create own task. I mean, create your task such a way that it should not depend on the other task. Mostly, try to eliminate those things. Yes, there is definitely there will be some dependency, but try to eliminate it as much as you can. Then only you will, for debugging purpose and to analyze our robot, to analyze our errors, it will be helpful for us. So how to do, we will discuss. Okay, so let's, that the maximum limit up to you can go is to, according to me and the best practices says that up to 3 level. That means inside a task you can call one more task, and inside that one more task. That's it. If you are any requirement to call one more, then you have to make a parallel robot. Okay, parallel robot in the sense you will divide the task itself into 2 parts. Once it is completed it, and you have to call the other one. Instead of going into depth, we will call parallelly. Okay, we will see if there is any requirement. We will see how to do that. And the task name, giving task names. Okay, I need to create task for you. One is our main task, which is going to be based on our whatever the folder we have created, based on our folder name. That means the robo ID which we gave over there. If the client is following robot ID process, I mean, you have, if it is a robo ID thing, then you have to give robot ID name as your main task name. This is our main task name. Let me main task. Main task. Okay. So I am saving it. While saving, while creating, save it. Definitely you have to store it inside your folder path only, robo, and you have to give, it is a main task, so you have to give, if whatever the folder name you have given over there. If you have any restriction, definitely some clients are saying that based on the robot ID only you have to give your main task name. You have to follow this. If you don't have any restriction, you have to give your process name as main task name and underscore main task. If it is based on robot ID, you don't have to give main task also. If it is your, if you don't have any restrictions, if it is by process name, let's say credit card, credit transaction, underscore main task. because in the robot ID, by seeing itself, we can say that that is a main task, anybody. But here, each and every task, whatever you are going to divide it, also going to have the same different names. But which is the main task? To identify it, definitely you have to specify main task. Okay. If it is a robot ID, no, don't have to give main task as main task. Okay. Like that. So, okay. If it is a task and subtask, we have two different. As I told, we have 3-level depth. We can pass up to 3-level depth. So the next thing is going to be task. You can give any name based on your process, based on your subbart, your architecture. You can give any name. But the thing is, underscore task will come here. You are going to call that inside your main task. That means if you are giving your task name as, let me give anything. Just leave it for now and save. And my personal data. Okay, personal data. Based on the requirement, you will give this name. Okay. Whatever you have planned to divide, how many tasks you are going after reviewing your BRD, you will divide it into subtasks, and you will give a flow chart to it. Which task is going to come first, whether it is going to attended or unattended automation, everything. What after listing all the things, after completing your design phase, before when you are while developing, you will give your name. If you are going to call that task inside main task, you have to give as task. And if you give the task, that means underscore task, definitely you have to call it in the main task only. Okay. So that means inside our main task, I am going to call this task. And inside that also, if you have any requirement to call one more task, okay, again the same thing, you have to specify as a subtask. Okay. Generate output generator. Output generator underscore subtask. Okay, subtask. That means I am going to call this subtask inside task. Inside task, I am going to call that subtask. By looking at that structure itself, the name itself, they have to understand what is the main task, what is the task, what is the subtask. Okay. And for subtask, you don't have any restrictions for some reasons. Like you can call it in the main task also if you have any requirement, but you need to specify why you are calling it inside your comment. Let's say inside the main task itself, you have failed. Let's say you have an Excel sheet where you will extract in, some data, and inside the application you will process it. But inside the main task itself, it is going to divide you. It is going to decide your task, which task it has to go. There itself it's failed because of some reasons, anything. At least you have to say, let's say this is the output generator. That means the final output is going to be generated by this subtask. It may be in the CSV format, or it may be in the Excel, or it may be in the text file, anything. The final output is going to be here, or it will send mail each and every time. It will send mail once after completing your record. So if your bot is failed in the main task itself, definitely you have to send something, right? Yes, I am failed because of these are the reasons. If it is processed, definitely it will pass through task and subtask also. If it is failed, what? We are not generating any output. So you don't have restrictions, but you need to specify why you are calling that. Each and every run, your bot or robot should give perfect output. Any output, it should generate. That's it. With specific reasons, you have to provide that specific. Yes, because of this reason, I have failed. That is how we will develop. You don't have any restrictions calling subtask inside main task. Okay. Yep. This is how we will give our main task names. Okay. Okay. Let me show you one file for you where I have clubbed all my some of the best practice, not all actually. Okay. Just go through it. Anyway, we are going to discuss about them in future, but for your purpose. Okay, tomorrow. Okay, I will show you. Wait, where is my thing? project. Yep. Okay. Tomorrow, this is your task. You are going to perform this for me. If you have installed AA in your machine, just try this. With this Excel, I will explain the scenario for you, what you have to do actually. Then we will, okay. This is sample Excel one I created, just a simple sample one, okay. Here you have to read the name, okay, not actually, but try to read your name column and store it in a variable, and the gender, 2 columns. I want to read 2 columns, okay. If it is M, just in the status just specify yes. If it is F, specify no in the status, okay. I am not explaining this, it is your duty. If there is any something which is not M and F, what you are going to do, it is up to your duty. You are going to do, you are going to give some appropriate output to it. Instead of, apart from M and F, it is not compulsory that you have to get the same thing again and again. So it is your duty that you have to give something. You have to assume, definitely you will get, if there is any Excel, any personal data, you will get these 2 only, but we will not assume, we don't know, there may be something else. Definitely you have to do that coding also while developing. Not only M and F, you have to think in a way, such a way that there may be a chances of getting something else, and you have to give a proper output. Because we are developing a robo for M and F, if you are developing for M and F and you are getting something else, what robo will get confused. What is this? I don't know about this. I know about M and F. I don't know about this T or S or A. What I have to do? You don't know. Definitely you have to analyze and you have to develop like that. Okay. You are going to read the name column and you are going to read gender column, and if M, S, or if F, no, and if there is anything else, specify something else. Say them in invalid input. Say, okay, invalid input. I am giving you invalid input. This is one thing. The thing is, you have to follow, you should not use any hard coding. If I change my Excel path, it should work. If I change if I shuffle my column names, it should work. That is how you have to develop. Okay, okay, if you don't know how to do it, just leave it. How to eliminate hard coding, and if I shuffle the columns, how to, okay, if I add one more column, how to, just leave those things, but at least try this and send it to me. Okay, you have mail ID, our institute mail ID, just send it to that. I will get all those files and I will review. At least I will try to review. If I find if I reviewed 3 or 4 files also, I will analyze those mistakes and I will tell you. Okay, this is the one thing you are going to do, okay, for tomorrow's, and this is the one you have to review, AA best practices. Design approach, definitely we will discuss these things, how to follow, what is DRY principle, what is single responsibility principle, these things we will discuss. Just this is the folder structure which I explained. It is more in depth I have explained over here. Actually, you will follow that whatever I have explained in real time, but you need to do this. Okay, this is for one of the clients actually. Okay, best practices, like you can follow this construction. This is the construction thing which you are going to use, which we are, these are all the best practices. Everything, for some of the comments I have mentioned, for rest of them I will give you, I will explain you if not. Okay, I will share it with you, just go through. Okay, any questions? I am done with the today's session.